What's up, my ninjas? Welcome to day 18. My name is Rob Based. I'm a dating and relationship coach, content creator, author, and I guess recently turned streamer. I'm going to be broadcasting live every day this month, basically to put out a catalog for Asian guys to get you guys up to speed with your dating and relationship life. I apologize. This is a re-upload. I have to do this stream over again because the last one I did, the audio quality was just so bad, and honestly, this stream is so important that I have to redo it again. Honestly, this is a really important topic. And I figured it's a much needed topic. And I don't see many guys out there talking about this in a way that it needs to be said. And in dating in general, I think a lot of dudes out there don't really understand female nature deeply. And a lot of the advice I hear from other Asian guys seems to get really watered down and sugar coated because I guess they're just trying to sell one on one coaching and they're not going to really give you the full picture. So, as a Christmas gift to you guys, I'll be putting out this sort of like I guess it's like a mini course, all right, for the whole month of December. I'm going to be trying to help out as many Asian guys as I possibly can and get them thinking about the right things when it comes to themselves and women in general, okay? And like I said, the value here is unmatched. If you're, new here, just welcome and get ready for the journey. I suggest you get caught up with all of the videos out there that I've been putting out and arm yourself with the best knowledge on the internet, okay? It's strictly geared for Asian guys. And I won't be asking for a single dime on this entire ride. All I do ask for is for you guys to hit the like button on the way out, subscribe, and tell a friend, as the things I talk about on here won't be too algorithm friendly. And if I do disappear, I'm also streaming live on Rumble as well too, so you guys can catch me there if I do end up disappearing. Okay, but anyway, today I'm going to be talking about the Tiger Mom, and it's a pretty controversial topic, but it's a much needed topic to be talked about, and it's definitely sparked a wide debate over the years. And I'm going to be explaining who she is, the pros and cons, how it affects us Asian men specifically in relationships. Okay. And if you've ever heard the term, you probably know that it's an Asian mom thing. Okay, who is incredibly strict. They want their kids to be a high achiever and probably practice intense discipline on you, like beating you, making sure you got straight A's, whether it was in school or putting you in extracurriculars like piano school, math, or Kumon or something like that, like math class, extra math courses or whatever. Because Tiger moms expected nothing but the best from their children. Okay, they pushed you so hard because it was about being better than everybody else. All right, and sometimes Tiger moms will push you to the edge of insanity, making sure you have a packed schedule, right? Like school, music, math practice, sports, etc. And if you ever got caught slacking and bringing home B's or something like that, or C's, you probably got beat and you had to suffer the consequences. Okay. Tiger moms would push you in every single area, making sure you go to the best schools or at least the best schools in your area, and figuring out, like, which one of your extracurriculars that you wanted to be the best at, and then push you extra hard in that as well. Okay. And there are some pros to this. All right. So let's talk about it. Firstly, it teaches you discipline. It's very rare that you see kids grow up with this type of discipline. Okay, the kids growing up these days aren't resilient, they're weak. Okay, they all have pretty poor work ethic. So it's kind of a pro in this sense, like learning this stuff at a young age, because kids these days don't really understand hard work and what it takes to actually achieve something great. And in this case, like, it's actually a good thing if you learn this young, because you can carry it on throughout the rest of your life. But and there's a huge but, if unmanaged properly, like, it could lead to some negative things as well. All right, and let's talk about those negative things. It could definitely lead to stress. It could definitely lead to some burnout and a shit ton of anxiety. Okay, because there's always this fear of not being enough or not doing enough. So this could lead you to substance abuse to help you cope. Okay, not to mention, growing up, this could cause a lot of tension between you and your parents. Okay, you might resent your mom, you might resent your dad, and it's because you saw how other kids grew up, and maybe their parents were a lot more lenient on them, and you wish your parents would ease up on you a little bit, right? So you'd be constantly fighting or trying to rebel. You're always wondering, like, why do I have a curfew at 6 p.m. when, Johnny can have sleepovers and stay up till whenever, right? And so you constantly either fight them or you would rebel and lie about where you are, who you're with, right? Because I definitely did that growing up as a kid. Um, Depending on how resilient you were, it could either be beneficial for you or it could lead you down a dark path. Like I said, me personally, I found myself rebelling extremely, like a lot. And it led me to start abusing drugs. I smoked a lot of weed to calm this side of my life down. And I would go out and binge drink every weekend just to pretty much forget about all this stuff. All right. And if this sounds familiar to you, well, we talk about solutions on this podcast. Okay. And we're going to get into some of those things first and foremost. Okay. Um, so we just went through the pros and cons of, tiger mom and having a tiger mom. But here are some solutions on what to do. Okay, you definitely need to first and foremost forgive your mom. Okay, she was only doing what she knew best, and most likely she was making up for a lack of masculinity in the household. Right, like you either had a passive dad or he was just unavailable because he was always working all the time. He was just uninvolved because, he was either just like too busy at work or he just frankly left all the parenting duties up to your mom. Okay. And so you need to have a little bit of empathy. And it's really important that you don't hold any bitterness or hatred towards your parents. Okay. You can't blame them for not knowing. They only knew what they knew. And a lot of this information wasn't around for them back then. Okay. Just to, readjust their parenting styles for you. They just didn't know. Okay. They were so busy raising you and also, going through the immigrant struggle as well. Right. So that's number one. And I talked about this in a last stream, obviously, like where bitterness is like drinking poison and wanting the other person to die. It only hurts yourself, all right? So whether you got beat and you still haven't like forgave your mom for this or whatever, like that's step number one, okay? You really do need to let go of that shit and move on, okay? And really work on repairing the relationship you have with your mom and your dad, all right? Number two, if you did go down that dark road and you started abusing drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, you need to give all of that up. Okay. It only makes you feel more inadequate and more uneasy, and your anxiety goes through the roof. Okay. It actually makes it worse. It fries your ability to regulate your emotions. Okay. And I also said this in our last stream. It's like putting a bandage on top of it. Okay. You're not going to completely heal from all of the stuff that you went through as a kid. And you really, and I said this in the last stream too, like you need the right environment to heal from all of this stuff. Okay. Like, and most importantly though, you're going to need that mental clarity for other things. All right. And drinking and weed and drugs or whatever, it's only going to prolong that process. Okay. Trust me. This is coming from a guy who abused this shit growing up. All right. Now, another thing I want you to tap into is the deep psychology of how growing up this way, like growing up with a tiger mom, affected the way that you view women and your relationships with women. Okay. This is really important. This is probably the most important thing here that I'm going to talk about. Okay. Most likely your tiger mom probably didn't approve of any of the women that you brought home, or maybe she didn't even allow you to have girlfriends growing up. Regardless, like it's caused a lot of psychological damage and it definitely needs to be addressed. Okay. And also the way that she raised you. Um, like growing up, you probably had this love-hate relationship with your mom. All right. She might have given you all kinds of shit. She's probably been really hard on you, but on the flip side, she was also the one who nurtured you when you were young and put food on your table and supported you through thick and thin, and like she was just really nice and kind. But also on the flip side, she was just like an evil, crazy tiger mom, right? Well, because you grew up seeing this duality in your mom, it's made you look at women as either or. All right, meaning like there's a psychological term for this, okay? And you guys can Google this after or whatever. But it's called the Madonna whore complex, okay? It was created by Sigmund Freud, a very world-renowned psychotherapist back in the day, okay? And basically men who have this struggle, um, it makes it makes it harder for you to have deep relationships with women because you can't reconcile the things that happen to you. Basically, you saw all the maternal nurturing qualities that your mom gave you, but on the flip side, because your mom isn't someone you're going to be having sexual interactions with or whatever, there wasn't really a distinct cognitive separation of these two women in your head. Okay. And you either view women as this Madonna, right? Someone who can't get it wrong and you had zero sexual desire for because she's your mom, or you view women as this very like adventurous, easygoing, like sexually loose, let's say. And those types of women were usually you view them as unworthy of having an emotional or long-term commitment with them. So what this means is like, growing up, or if you ever got into relationships with girls, you would pass up some of the good girls because you didn't want to hurt them. You saw them as this like angel or whatever, and then you would have sex with the bad chicks, but you don't want to get into committed relationships with her because you viewed that girl as a whore. And so this has led you to believe that women have this duality in them, that they don't have this duality in them, right? And you can't possibly see that a woman can be nurturing and a whore at the same time, if you guys catch my drift. Okay. um Now, I'm not a psychotherapist or anything, and this is definitely something you guys should explore on your own. Do some of your own research with a therapist or whatever, and try to get to the root cause of all this so that it doesn't show up in your relationships, right? And another important thing about choosing a therapist, like definitely don't go with women. Um, Choose a male therapist, somebody who definitely understands your struggle, has been in your shoes, and has helped other men in your shoes with the same problem. Okay. um but basically, like, you probably ended up throwing away some of the good girls because you only view, or either you threw away some of the good girls, or you didn't even want to get into a long-term relationship with some of these good girls because you only saw them in a certain light, and you didn't think that good girls are capable of like satisfying you sexually in the bed, right? Because you thought that only whores can do that, right? And then on the flip side, when you get with like a whore, let's say, or a girl who's like sleazy, you wouldn't give her a chance at a long-term relationship because you didn't think that she's also like able to be a good girl on the flip side and be nurturing and care for you, right? It just didn't make sense to you because you saw your mom do that and you thought she was evil or whatever. You probably thought that girl was just as evil. Okay, so you definitely have to work on your views of women regardless, right? They need to be adjusted a little bit because it doesn't, like, it just because a good girl um appears to be all nice and nurturing and whatever doesn't mean that she can't satisfy you sexually in the bed. And then on the flip side, if you see a girl who's a little bit more openly sexual, that girl, it doesn't mean that she can't be a good chick either, and it can show you like nurturing qualities or whatever. But basically what I'm trying to say is like there are no good girls. Like they're just women in general. Okay, they're just women, and you have to figure out whether or not they have red flags. Okay, because women have this duality to them. They're very complex creatures. Okay, they can be good and they could be bad. All right, but it's the red flags that are important. Okay, and we talked a little bit about some of that in the last stream. And you should definitely just accept women for the good and the bad that they are. Okay, because like men too, we have good and bad qualities about us as well. So like I said, it just means that, hey, maybe that good girl can show you a good time in bed. All right, and you just haven't given it a chance. Okay, or you've written off all the whores, let's say, because you don't think that they're capable of, being a good nurturing woman. Okay. All right. I think I'm gonna leave that stream there, and because I don't want to inundate you guys with too much, as this could definitely lead to some anger down the road, because this is when you start to uncover these things that have been buried deep down inside for so long, it could get you a little bit angry. Okay. And if you haven't done all the inner work yet, facing these kinds of topics can definitely, derail you guys, and derail your progress. Okay. So I'm not going to dive too much into this topic. It's definitely something that you guys should explore on your own and do some more research on yourself and figure out how it affected you. I'm only sharing a little bit about how it affected me, so to say. So with that, I'll leave it here and keep these streams somewhat short, sweet, concise, and to the point. And yeah, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, same time, same channel. Okay, so make sure to hit that like button on the way out. See, and if you guys did get value, I would be greatly appreciative if you guys could share the stream out with somebody who you think could use this, because it's word of mouth referrals that are going to help me grow this channel. All right, because I don't think, like I said, a lot of this stuff that I talk about is going to be YouTube friendly. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. Rob Bass signing off. Peace.